You were saying before we got so rudely interrupted by your video storage capacity.
And also my temper tantrum.
And your temper tantrum. Third time lucky on this video then.
Yeah.
People, it's coming to our attention that people are moving back to America. American friends moving back. And we were watching Honeymoon Always. I don't mind mentioning people's names, other YouTubers. It's not like it's the BBC or there's some problem. I think we're all one big community of people helping people, or at least we should be. Honeymoon Always, that was a great video that you shared. And you were talking about the phenomenon of Americans going back home. And then somebody just sent me a message. This could be third time lucky, couldn't it? But maybe it might not be with the kids joining us. I just got sent a message. Somebody reckons, and I need to verify this, but 30 or 40% of Americans return back to the States before or around their first year.
Yeah.
So this is quite shocking to me, and we're still making sense of it. But you do have some early thoughts on this, don't you?
Yeah. I mean, I think a lot of people aren't really they get their nuts and bolts of their moves right.
Yeah.
You know, so we know lots of people who've got their move really rationally planned, and I think the true cost of what it takes to move hasn't really been considered, or can't be considered, until you're actually in the place.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of emotional things and sort of spiritual things, like your whole identity changes when you become an expat or immigrant or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Foreigner. You know, your feeling of status changes. Often a lot of the people that are moving out also, they're going through a life change as well. So for instance, their kids have left home, or they're retiring, or they're running away from their country because they think it's all going to collapse.
Oh, a politically motivated move.
Yeah, and I have to say, our move felt a little bit like that 5 years ago.
It's true, actually.
We're really pleased that, you know...
No, I need to revisit that, because you were saying before that if, you know, this whole idea of moving from something or moving to something, if you're living in fear or if you're living in possibility, these are really crucial considerations in terms of longevity, aren't they? Again, if you use the marital metaphor, is it a fling or is it a serious thing? Flings are often driven by, well, lust, I suppose, but fear, aren't they? Not dealing with things, and fear and those sorts of maybe dark and negative motivators.
Well, also like the fear of missing out. So I think
fear
a
of
lot
missing.
People,
yes, fear of missing out. That's a fling thing.
Yeah, a lot of people have heard about Portugal being a great place, and it is a great place.
Yes.
And you know, I think people are thinking, if I don't move now, I won't get the chance. I mean, I know we were really keen to get over 5 years ago, and we thought if we don't take this moment now, we'll never be able to afford to, or life won't be quite right.
Yes.
And actually, what we've come to realise is, aside from the finances and things like healthcare and all those other things all the sensible things that most people think about, are some much bigger issues and some much bigger pieces to consider before moving.
Yeah.
And or work on when you get here. And
well, there's if you haven't considered it in advance, you will be likely. Life will give you the opportunities to consider what you didn't consider before.
There's that amazing phrase, like wherever you go, there you are.
Yes.
And so, you know, what a lot of people think is that they're moving country, and whatever issue was going on in their hometown, they're going to be free of.
Yeah.
I remember sort of laughing to ourselves and saying, oh, well, we're away from this person now. That's going to make life easier.
Charming.
And, one of the first things that happened when we got to Portugal was, like, the equal and opposite version of this person just showed up in our lives.
I'm just trying to think who that is without asking you outright on the screen.
There's no need.
But it's not an unusual phenomenon, that, is it?
No.
Wherever you go, there you are.
Yeah.
Yeah, and but you know, with this, if I may continue with this marital metaphor, what is the secret of a long and happy relationship?
Well,
and it's the same thing, isn't it? If you what's a long and happy migration, what is the secret?
Well, I think we need to talk to. I mean, we've got our own ideas as to what makes it long and happy. Now, I'll be honest, it hasn't always been happy.
Who doesn't like it long and happy first thing in the morning, anyway?
It hasn't been easy these 5 years. But
cheese.
like over the next few months, we're going to be speaking to some people who have made it over a year or a couple of years, and who are enjoying it, and also speak to some of the people that are leaving, so that we get more of a clue. Because one of the things that we're really interested in doing.
Go and play, mister. We're trying to do something important here.
One of the things that we're really interested in doing is actually working and doing real-time coaching with people and helping them go through the decision-making process, helping
Okay, I'll help you.
consider some of the big things and look at some of the things they haven't considered.
Go on,
Okay,
Diggy's going to help
off
you with that.
Digby's going with you.
Okay.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah. What is he talking about?
I've no idea.
Oh, the double-decker bus. Only kidding, folks. Only kidding. Yeah. Well, yes. The secrets of a long and happy migration. I think there are some transferables, aren't there, with the marital metaphor? You know, after the honeymoon comes the hard work, possibly.
It is the hard work, isn't it? I mean, if you think about most relationships,
They're hard work. If
if they've made it after a year, they probably are going to be a significant relationship.
Yeah.
Lots break down in the first year, don't they?
The first week, in my experience. But yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah, I mean, you kind of know, don't you?
You know, you're
kinda
either
know.
going to work at something, or you're just going to say, you know what, this isn't going to bring us what we need.
Alternatively, I mean, yeah, all jokes aside for at least 30 seconds now, but it's about what if I can in no way be thought of as an expert in relationships, God no. But what I have learned about relationships is that the ones that work, the one that works, if you like, and what determines longevity, sustainability, is an ability, or a willingness, probably more than an ability, because normally you don't have the ability, but a willingness to discuss things, to talk about things, to go to the no-go areas. The no-go areas will kill you if you don't go to them.
Yeah.
And your relationship, I think, same in life, isn't it? What Brian said the other day, what you don't deal with, what you don't address weighs heavy.
Yeah.
It's so true, isn't it? And I think that part of this migration, successful migration, emigration, starting a life in a new country, is to be able to address all aspects of what might trouble or ail you or undermine you. And that's not a pretty process sometimes, is it?
No.
It's not in relationships, is it?
It really isn't.
Scars to prove it.
I mean, I would also say that those people that know that Portugal's not for them and who have the courage to accept that and get out of that relationship,
Yeah.
I think they've got a lot of courage to know exactly what they need and to leave it when they know it's not for them.
Yeah.
Is also very courageous, because you do meet some people and you wonder, why the hell are they here still? It almost looks like an abusive relationship.
Oh
So
my
I think
goodness,
it's
making
really
that
important-
connection or
Yeah,
that
exactly,
metaphor.
because a
right.
lot of people think, oh, I've invested this much time,
I'm just going to stick it out.
I'm going to stick it out, I'm going to settle.
Yes.
So there's a lot going on, and one thing that I would
My goodness.
absolutely hand on heart say is, whatever issues you have in your own country, where you're used to dealing with them and where you have your own friends and you have your own support systems, when you have the same issues in another country without these support systems, it's really difficult. I mean, it's kind of like a high risk strategy. We do also hear of couples splitting up because the pressure that it puts on them.
Oh yeah.
There's usually one partner that's less interested in making this like long-term commitment, and one that's more for it.
And one can say it was your idea, not mine.
Yeah, and then one ends up going home, and so there's a lot to think about.
But yeah, your thoughts on this? Your thoughts on what makes for a happy, successful migration? I guess from the point of view of people who have been here for a long time and might want to contribute, and those of you who want to know, who are on your way. You might be coming to Portugal for the first time, but you might have landed successfully elsewhere and enjoyed life somewhere other than your own original country, or you might have transferable marital tips from that sounds a bit weird, doesn't it, me asking for transferable marital tips.
Surely you'd have some of those by now.
It's not a cry for help, but a serious subject, absolutely. When you hear of a figure like that, 30 to 40% of Americans returning home within the first year, and it looks like it's a bit of a fling and not a serious thing. How can we make it a serious thing? Or do you do both?
I think we do both.
Bit of both.
What we'd like to do and what we're actually moving into is more sort of like coaching before people leave, and then also working with people when they arrive, and sort of like checking in to see how they're getting on. Because actually, if you think about what it's like at the end of a relationship, yes, there's usually a really good feeling, a feeling of relief, but there's often lots of other feelings to clear up as well.
Yes.
You know,
Yes,
that
indeed.
lingering, did I fail? You know, what went wrong? And I
Oh,
think
I
it's really
see, right,
important
yeah.
to let go of those as well,
Yep.
and to sort of understand them. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all moving around and jostling around this planet right now.
Yep. It's what we
Not
do.
many
isn't
of
it?
us know what we're doing, and I think all we can do is be as kind to ourselves as possible, and to each other. And I think the more we can understand what's driving our needs for all these moves, the more informed we can be.
A little bit of peace and understanding.
Yeah, and some masses of forgiveness is needed, isn't it? You know.
All of those spiritual things, it would seem to be contributing here, you know, to understand ourselves and each other better, understand our motivations better. And it leads to peace, doesn't it? Understanding leads to peace, it would seem. And the answer may well be blowing in the wind, as you might be able to hear in the Dom Carlos Park here. Scene of the Festas de Frutas. We better go now.
Yeah, because our kids are outside.
They've gone out of Isla.
I can hear them.
We'll see you soon to talk more about this.